So, good morning, everybody. My name is Sarah, and this is Zoe, and we'd like to share our initiative about supporting every smile, improving the patient journey for children and young people with additional needs or neurodivergent conditions at the Leeds Dental Institute. There we go. So, just a brief outline of what we'll be covering over the next 10 minutes or so. So we're going to give you a background as to why we felt this project was important, discuss our Learning Disability and Autism Champions group and the projects undertaken so far within specifically the Paediatric Dental Department to improve our patient journey, including the reasonable adjustments pathway, and also highlight the successes and impact this has had within our service.
So these numbers show the numbers of autistic and learning disabled children that were on our waiting list over 7 months last year. And we have many more children who have suspected autism or learning disability who are on really long waiting lists that don't often get captured in these numbers. And many of these children will have additional communication, sensory or behavioural needs that we need to make adjustments for. So, unfortunately, there have been occasions where we haven't been prepared. You can imagine the dental environment particularly can be quite challenging with kind of strange noises and smells and bright lights. And, you know, for people who have autism or learning disability or sensory processing differences, this can potentially lead to sensory overload, patients becoming distressed, anxious, and potentially challenging behaviour. So last year we had 6 statics reportable incidents where overwhelmed patients have unintentionally caused harm to themselves or to staff members, which understandably decreases confidence for both staff and patients and decreases their sort of trust in us. And it has led to was not brought and cancellations, including for procedures under general anaesthetic, which again can lead to delays in treatment and wasted resources and potentially safeguarding concerns.
So these are our group of champions, our Learning Disability and Autism Champions, and they're all across different departments that you can see here. And we're all working collectively together to improve our patients' journeys and raising awareness amongst staff as well around reasonable adjustments. And today we'd like to share some of the projects that we've done specifically within the Paediatric Dental Department, but there are other projects going on across all other departments as well. So within the Paediatric Dental Department, we acquired some sensory items and toys through charitable donations through Starlight, so we're very thankful for Starlight for giving those. And these have been really fantastic for our patients, and we're using these across different sites, so the dental hospital in Leeds, but also our satellite hospital at Chapel Allerton Hospital, and then our day theatre unit as well. We've got posters of procedures, and you can see lovely Zoe's son there, sort of modelling the nasal hood for inhalation sedation. We've developed a number of patient information leaflets and social stories that we're giving to our patients, and then we've set up this fantastic reasonable adjustments clinic that Zoe's going to discuss a little bit more now.
So this project was actually the brainchild of one of our amazing consultants, Susan Kindlen, who's with us today, and was funded by Leeds Hospital Charity. And the main aim really was to try and develop a pathway whereby we could identify all our patients who have confirmed or suspected learning disability, autism, or other kind of neurodivergent condition, and give those families a call ahead of their first visit with us. To discuss any adjustments that we might need to make, and also to try and identify patients on a general anaesthetic pathway and call them before their operation date. So the telephone clinic's up and running. We've created a really detailed SOP and a call template so that people can just step in to do the clinic, and so other staff members occasionally rotate in. And we take a really detailed medical and dental history over the phone, in addition to discussing kind of sensory needs or issues, triggers, likes, dislikes, and of course any adjustments that we need to make. And that means that we can keep their clinic visit as short as possible. We also, if they're having a general anaesthetic, it's useful to know whether they might need a side room or a sedative pre-med or input from the play team. We're in the process of setting up a virtual clinic for those families for whom it might be too distressing to even come into the hospital. And then we've got some additional projects that I've been working on for this with the charity's money as well. So we've got an additional social story there about my visit to the dentist, which was a really lovely one because it was created, kind of co-created with the families of one of our autistic patients. And we've created 2 video walkthroughs for both our clinic sites. Created the Paediatric Dental Department web pages with lots of useful links and resources, and an accessibility section, and a learning resource for all our kind of new starters, sort of dentists, admin team, and nursing staff, so that we can kind of, again, raise awareness of the pathway for all staff members. And we've put in a bid for a play specialist dedicated for the dental team, which could have a huge impact in terms of patient experience and cost savings if it comes off.
So in terms of success and impact, we have received excellent feedback from patients, caregivers and staff, both informally through structured questionnaires. For the sensory items and toys, we've received 100% feedback from respondents saying 100% are happy with the patient outcome, that there's been an improvement in patient outcome since these have been introduced into clinic. We've collected some really nice case studies and patient stories to capture the lived experiences. We've reduced text incidents, 6 in 2024. Since this has been introduced, reduced it to 2 in 2025. We've had a reduction in cancellations for GA admissions specifically for behavioural sort of problems, and patients, it's been a reduction in 8 to 2%. And then we're now also documenting reasonable adjustments, and that's massively improved to before we started this project. We're now recording 85% of reasonable adjustments for our patients with a confirmed diagnosis. And definitely we're finding that within our clinics, aren't we, Zoe, that we're increased staff satisfaction and confidence in managing our patients who are neurodivergent, which is really important.
Our postgrad dentists have kind of improved, said that after the learning resource, they felt a lot more confident in managing patients with additional needs. I just wanted to leave you with some feedback from the mum of one of our patients. So she's got 2 autistic sons. The older son went through, had a general anaesthetic and didn't have a very good experience. They felt they weren't very prepared. I'm just going to put it up so you can start reading it. They felt that the ward weren't prepared when they got there, and it was quite distressing for everyone involved. And then her younger son then needed a general anaesthetic to have teeth removed. She was really apprehensive about it, but he was referred following the introduction of this initiative, and this is what she had to say. And there are also on our poster Charlie's story as well, which is another nice story about one of our patients who's had a good journey following this introduction of this initiative. Thank you.
Sit down.
Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, ladies. You've definitely set the bar for sticking to time. But we do have time for a few questions. So if anybody has, we usually take a couple of questions or maybe 3 questions depending on time. Anybody got a question?
I just wondered how you got those parents and some of the patients on board to help you with co-producing some of those resources.
Well, it was actually a family who felt that we didn't have enough out there to prepare their children. So this was kind of the start of it, I think, really. So it came from them, actually, that we want more information, you know, this would have been helpful. And then they got involved with that little social story, which was great. So it's actually the autistic child who's in the leaflet.
Any more questions? We're a quiet audience.
Need some more music.
Yeah.
I did notice you all got a bit quieter as the morning went on. Well, we need to turn that one around. Right. Oh, hang on. Found another one. One more question.
not really a question, it's just a comment. So working in adult learning disability services, we're really aware how important reasonable adjustments are for people, and I think what's great about what you've talked about is proactively offering that service, because people don't always know how to. They've got a reasonable adjustment form, they take it to the hospital, but you're making sure that that's in place for people, and I think that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.